Good morning, everyone. I wanted to go over just a couple problems for our last little bit here of 1.2. So I didn't really like the problems that you have in your student journal. So wherever you have room for this, if it's in your student journal somewhere, if it's on the same page as your homework, whatever is fine with me. But I just wanted to give you a couple examples for these word problems. The problems in your student journal weren't very similar to what you actually have on your homework, so I wanted to give you some more similar problems. So there's two main types of problems. So some of them are kind of like these two, where it's asking you to find a number. And then some are more like this last one, where you have to calculate some value. Either one, our goal for these problems is to try and find an equation. So we first want to find the equation, then we want to find the number. So here it says the sum. So we always have to look for these words that tell us what type of operations we're using. So the sum, we know we're adding, of twice a number, let's call our number n, okay, of twice a number, so 2 times n, and 7, we know that we're adding 2n and 7, is 19. Okay, so here I'm going to go where I've got a little bit of room where I can solve this. So 2n plus 7 is 19. All right, so I want to get rid of my 7, subtract that from both sides. I end up with 2n is equal to 12. I want to go ahead and divide out my 2. I'm multiplying here, so I want to divide. I've got n is equal to 6. All right, that should make sense. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19. So my number is going to be 6. All right, so make sure on these problems on your homework, I need to see the equation and the solution. All right, because that's part of what these problems are asking you to do, are to come up with an actual equation as well. All right, so let's do that for another one. Let's look at this one over here. 7 plus, all right, so that one's easy. 7 plus, it says the quotient of a number and 2. Okay, quotient, we should remember, means divide. So when it says the quotient of a number and 2, all right, let's use x for this one. Okay, so x is going to be the number that gets divided by 2, is what it's asking for. Okay, so don't get tripped up. A number and 2, the number goes on top, and then divided by 2 is 15. All right, and then we've looked at a problem similar to this, where we have to decide, okay, am I going to be getting rid of the 7 or the 2 first? Do I worry about the addition, or do I worry about the division first? Since the 7 is in a separate term, you want to go ahead and get rid of that 7 first. So we're going to subtract by 7 again. All right, and we're just left with x divided by 2 is equal to 8. We want to get rid of that 2 we're dividing by, so multiply by 2 on both sides, and I get x is equal to 4. Right, does that make sense? 7 plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. Oh, that doesn't make sense. 8 times 2 is definitely not 4. It's definitely 16. All right. Most of you guys get to be smarter than Miss Larson today. Okay, let's make sure this makes sense. 7 plus 16 divided by 2 is 8, and that is 15. That's why you want to check your answer. All right. So then we've got x is equal to 16. And we've got our equation and our answer. So then we've got our very last problem right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this. Probably is a more efficient way to do this, but I don't know what it is. All right, so it's asking me for, saying it cost me a total of $208 to rent a car. There's a flat fee of $100 for the actual rental, and I'm paying $2.25 for every gallon of gas. So it wants me to write an equation and calculate how many gallons of gas that I purchased. Okay, so a total of $208. So whatever I'm adding up, all the other stuff is going to equal 208. Then it says there's a flat fee of $100 and then $2.25 per gallon. That's one of the most important things, is when you can figure out when you have something that's just a flat fee versus a rate. So I'm just paying that $100 one time. Okay, so we've got just $100, but every time I buy a gallon of gas, it's $2. Let's call the gallon of gas G. So it's $2.25 times how many gallons of gas. All right, we're going to see quite a few problems like that. This is in that y is equal to mx plus b format. M is our rate, and b is our, we can call it our intercept or our starting value. It's the thing that doesn't change. No matter if I drove 1 mile or 1,000 miles, my car rental is $100. Okay? The rate changes depending on how much gas I'm buying. All right, so if you can remember that, how to tell the difference between the rate and just a flat fee or a starting fee, that's going to help you out set up a lot of these problems. All right, and then it wants us to go ahead and solve this one out. So we're saying, all right, we want to get rid of this term first. We're going to subtract 100 from each side. So I've got 108 is equal to 2.25 G. I'm going to use my calculator on this one. I want to go ahead and divide each side by 2.25. Okay, so 108 divided by 2.25, and I get 48. All right, so I can write out, I want to write out nicely right here my equation. 208 is equal to 2.25 G plus 100, and I've got 48 gallons. Okay, so if you want to go ahead, we have, I think, just a couple. I think it's maybe 7 problems for your assignment for word problems, and then you're all good for today. All right, see you guys tomorrow.